Hello, Hacksters! Back in the studio for the first time in a little while. We've actually had a lot of events lately, and today I've got some exciting tips for how to organize your workshop with a few cool projects that we're going to share in a moment. But first, speaking of events, you can follow all of our adventures here on YouTube, assuming you're watching on YouTube, actually. It may not be so. On YouTube/Hackster.io. We've got a TikTok where we're sharing a bunch of stuff from events as vertical videos. Those are also going on our YouTube channel, and they're going on our Instagram as Reels. So you can follow along with what's the coolness at all these different events. And then, of course, a lot of them are also going up on our Hackster videos page, hackster.io/videos. It's not just a project site, it's not just a news site, it's got all of those, and also we have videos, which is what you're watching right now. All right, cool. Pardon me. I am your host, Alex Glow. I've been out and about a lot, so you may see me in the wild. It'd be super cool to meet hacksters out there. And today, I'm back in the workshop, and what I see around me is disaster and chaos. And so we're going to try and mitigate that a little bit with these three things we're going to look at today. You can see them here. Sneak peek. Three exciting things. A little bit blurrier here at the start because we're going to take close-up looks at them. So these are some stickers by Charlene Gonda. This is a USB cable tester by Alvaro Prieto. And this is my own design, a 3D printed CR2032 and other coin cell battery cartridge so that you know where those things go and hopefully they won't end up everywhere. And then when you need one, you can actually have one on hand. So let's take a quick look at some of the websites. First up, we're going to look at Alvaro's cable tester, which you can find here on his GitHub. Whoop. I'm going to hide this. There we go. It's not a real lab without disaster and chaos. It's true. It's like some people say never trust like a chef with a clean kitchen or something like that, you know? Ugh. So yeah, Alvaro has shared the plans for this. You can actually go order it online. The USB cable tester. What it is you basically stick a coin cell battery in the middle, which is how I remembered about my 3D printed cartridge thingy, and plug one same USB cable into both ends of the board. And it's gonna take a look at what's connected up. It's sort of like a multi-threaded continuity tester. And the way we do that is I've got a big pile of cables here, as I'm sure you know, as is traditional. So I'm gonna take this little micro USB cable, USB-A on one end, micro USB on the other end, and plug it into opposite ends of this. And lo and behold, we see that we've got ground connected up, ground, and then we've got V-bus for power. And so this is none of our data LEDs are lighting up. So this is the kind of thing that Alvaro wants to abolish, which is charge-only cables. I find them useful because I actually have a bunch of batteries lying around, and sometimes it's useful to have, or for wearable projects, I run a lot of them off of USB, and so being able to just plug in some power is all right by me. But oh boy, they're really in their natural state here. So let's have a look at this one. I have no idea whether this is data or just power. This is another micro USB one. Ooh, ooh, oh, stress testing. This is Alvaro. I'm gonna make you so sad right now. A, it is charge only, and B, I've just managed to basically strong arm this micro USB port off of this. It's so embarrassing. Oh no. Oh well, I will not do another micro USB cable, I guess. Right now, I'm just gonna resolder that and like hot glue in place later on. Oh boy. Well, it must be all those pull-ups I've been doing. Anyway. That's micro USB. We're not going to look at that one right now. Oh no. Disaster and chaos, friends. I set myself up there. We're going to take so on here we've got USB mini, USB-C, USB micro B, and no, this is micro USB, USB mini. I think this is like USB-B, the little one. I always think it looks like a house. Someday I will learn to remember the name of that USB plug configuration. Feel free to shout it out in the comments if you have a better handle on life than I do. Go in there. All right. We're going to be a little bit more careful with this now. Oh, and we've got data coming through. That is expected because these are usually, I keep them around for like Arduino programming and stuff with the old style Unos. And sometimes you need them for like a 3D printer connection or something like that. The Bantam PCB mill you need for that. Shield is interesting. I actually learned a little bit about USB from this. There's more for me to learn as well, but like, I know that transmit and receive pins are for UART, and if you'll notice, they're sort of not mirrored, rotationally symmetrical because they're sort of broken out in the same way on both sides. So ground, ground, RX, RX, TX, TX, etc. And so that one's good. That's cool. It's got data. Now finally this one, which is a multi-charge cable, which I have been having some trouble getting this to work. So I actually wanted to try all of these different ones to see if, there is no lightning connector, but just to see if it was just the micro USB or if it was like, what's going on there? Okay, so we've got ground on this USB-C one. And then we have a micro USB one, which I'm not going to test right now because I've broken that one. So I'll come back later and do that. Alvaro has a Twitter thread where he talks about this, and he does mention what to do if your cable is too short. This one is a USB-C. And as you can see, I can't get it around there, into there. So let's take a look at that Twitter thread and see what he has to say. Here's what a dreaded charge-only cable looked like. I had to make my own since I had previously banished them from my lab. He actually snipped one in the middle so that it to disable the data, I think. Yes, there we go. It's all open hardware. If you want to make your own, there's a KiCad project up on GitHub that is linked in the description below, as is all of this. What if my cable is too short? We have that covered too. You just use 2 of them, or you use some probes, or both. So these are just for, the probes are actually just for power, but they must be connecting to the same power source. So interesting. You got USB-C to C and all that stuff. He's added Gerber's bill of materials and assembly files, and then you can order it. And there are actually questions from the audience here. Someone was mentioning that they had issues, or they had questions about ordering from JLC PCB and whether, like, which options to choose. So for example, he recommends using ENIG or hassle-coated contacts so that you don't get lead on your hands, because you'll be handling these frequently. He's also on Mastodon, where he finally found a data-only cable in his collection, and he's very sad about it. Oh yeah, so I was already learning a little bit of stuff about USB, like what is the VBus line for, and it turns out that that's obviously the power, because the other ones that lined up are the ground. But yeah, positive 5 volts plus or minus 10% to a downstream port being provided there. So our next organizational tool is Charlene Gonda's floppy disk costumes for SD cards. These are so cute! Okay, gotta try not to get too loud on the mic, because it is USB-B type. I was right. First we only had USA, then they gave USB A, B, and C. Yeah. All right, cool. So floppy disk costumes. These are little stickers. I actually haven't dug into these yet. Charlene gave me a few little individual ones last year, and now I've got a whole page of them. Oh no. Well, this is my example for what I've got going on. So, we'll get to that in a moment. Where's my SD card collection? I've got so many of these adapters, and right now they're just held in a little Ziploc bag, and it's horrible. So maybe someday I'll make a cartridge for those. There's all kinds of cool storage options for these. Actually, like really clever things on Thingiverse and Cults 3D and Thangs and the other online 3D model marketplaces. But yeah, none of them match. Actually, I'm going to leave this one alone because the Raspberry Pi logo is cool. But these other ones, I'm going to actually take the one out of my camera and put a blue label on it right now because I want it to be obvious that that's the Hackster one. I mean, they're all the Hackster one, but this one is especially Hackster. Okay, so it's a nice floppy floppy sticker. And I'm going to see if I can fit it in. I can just squeeze it in where it won't interfere with that micro SD card. Okay, it just fits in there. And that's important because, you know, I'm going to be pulling this one in and out. Probably not too much since it's the camera one and it goes into the camera at that size. But yeah, so then I can write on it. Camera. Ah! And I can kind of throw it around if I feel like it, which is fun. And put a little star on there. There's nothing stopping me from Sharpieing over my existing micro SD card holders, but isn't it better like this? I think it is. So I'm just gonna color code all of these, even though they're kind of the same. I mostly use micro SD cards in adapters just because they're more versatile. And honestly, because that's what I tend to get, like, for free or with existing products or whatever. And they're useful for putting into Raspberry Pis. They're useful for putting into my 3D printer. I've got a Creality CR10S Pro V2. I forgot how long that name was until I started saying it. But check out how cute those are. So these, again, you can buy them online from Adafruit. But also, as with Alvaro's project, you can make it yourself. You can go and print them off from Charlene's website. Go to charlene.codes, which is also linked in the description below. And yeah, you can go take care of that yourself. If you have a sticker printer or you just want to like print them out on regular paper, you could use a thinner marker so that they're not so bad. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to test this with a regular Sharpie marker and see if it rubs off or if it's fine. We're going to do some jet pen style pen testing. Pen testing. Okay. Question marks, because there's no way. Okay, yeah, so this does have a bit of a glossy finish on it. And I'm noticing that this felt tip pen, which I wasn't sure is Sharpie branded. I wasn't sure if it would be like a permanent marker, but it does look a bit like it's beating up on there. Let me give you a good actual focus length. And yeah, so it's not showing up super great. I'm going to give it a few seconds more and then I'm going to do a little swipe test. And my guess is that it's going to smear, but we'll see. Maybe it won't. It does depend on both the pen and the sticker surface. Oh, pain, sadness. Now I'm going to give it another test. You didn't think we were going to be stress testing all this equipment, but we are. So this is just like a piece of t-shirt that I have attached to an isopropyl bottle on my desk. And I'm going to see. Okay, I did manage to completely ruin the sticker. So don't do that. But you've got 8 of them, so probably it'll be fine. So, notes here. Be careful with what type of pen you use on here. Some of them will work, some of them will not. And also, yeah, because of the glossy surface, you know, you want to use like a ballpoint or ideally a Sharpie or something like a very fine-tipped Sharpie marker. And then don't use isopropyl alcohol on them because that will absolutely mess up the color and finish. But they're very cute. Check them out. They look so adorable. Okay. This isopropyl trick is actually also something that I use on this storage device, which I got from BeagleBone. You can label these in Sharpie, and you can use isopropyl to clean this off. So if you come across one of these, I say snatch it up. I've had this for like 5 years maybe, and I can say like blank. I think both of these are blank actually. And that's why they're not labeled, but I can let that dry for a second. Put a little squirt on my cloth here. Isopropyl is so useful for cleaning electronics and stuff too, getting adhesive off of things. It makes a big mess, but I think if I let it dry longer, then it wouldn't be like that. Old ink is usually easier, and you can always just come back with a little more isopropyl and get that right off of there. Nice. So the final thing that I have to show you today is this coin cell battery cartridge holder thingy that I made. Gotta make sure not to lose my camera SD card here. So I made these like maybe a year ago or so because I had coin cell batteries all over the place, and you know what a nightmare that is. You just never know what's charged, what's dead, etc. In fact, I just found another one on my desk, and maybe I set that one aside because it was dead, but maybe it was just because. Maybe I took it out of the cartridge and then used it and then forgot about it. But not only do they make awesome little castanets, you could make them tighter if you wanted, but these, I kind of like them this way. But they also hold 12 little coin cell batteries or more. For example, I've got two CR2016s stuck in here because they're sized for a CR2032. I've got a CR2025 in here. You know, they'll hold all manner of different batteries, but yeah, they're designed for up to CR2032s and probably a little more. You can hear that rattle. You just stretch an elastic band. In this case, I've got hair ties around them. Even this one, like, which printed poorly because I was using a filament that likes to scrunch itself up, and I had it too close to the window, I think, so that size shrank. Even so, they work really nicely. They keep all your stuff tucked away, and you can find the STLs for that online, which I also have linked in the description below. They are on Cults 3D, which is an online marketplace and free stuff spot where you can share free 3D printing designs, but also you can sell them on their little marketplace, and they take a cut. I think it's about 20%. These are offered up for free, and you can just go download it now if you want to print up your own little cartridges there. I think they're cute, and it makes me happy, honestly. It just gives me like a little sparkle of joy every time I give those a shake, and I like suddenly remember that they make this fun little noise, and it like adds a little bit of sparkle to my day, you know. It's fun. So that's all I've got for you. This is my next steps with this coin cell holder is to make a smaller one for these CR1225s because they are also everywhere because I started using them in PCB jewelry. So my PCB earrings use these. Someday I'll switch to a more sustainable form of power, but for now we've got these, and they are everywhere. And I'm sure you've also got some form of this horribleness going on in your workshop. And none of us deserve to live like that. We all deserve to live in a beautiful land where our little batteries are happy and taken care of, and we always know where to find them when we need them. It just gives you one place to tuck them, and then you grab it out again when you need it. And then if you find one that's dead, you go deal with it at that point. Takes some of the pressure off. All right, let's see if there's any comments before we wrap up here. You and me both have coin cell batteries everywhere. Try running, like, maybe you've done this before, but if you ever run a workshop, you definitely end up with that kind of thing all over the place. And it's like testing stuff, you know, trying out other people's badges, coming back from a convention, and you have all these coin cell battery powered badges, and then you like take out the batteries because nobody puts a power switch on. Like, put power switches on your PCBs, by the way, please. And then yeah, you just end up with them everywhere. I swear they multiply. They're like tribbles. Those are awesome. My fridge would have a lot to say about my battery storages. Fridge batteries. Fridge? I'm trying to think of like what do you do? What are you doing with your batteries? Why the fridge? I have to know. If anyone knows what that comment means, tell me, please, because now I'm really intrigued. All right. So anyway, those are our three cool things for today. We've got coin cell battery holder cartridges that you can 3D print at home. We've got a USB cable tester that you can get from GLC PCB or make your own from Alvaro Prieto. Warning, for cable use only. Do not connect to any device. It will break it, which is like one of the most metal warnings ever. He's got full instructions on here. And then we also have these super cute floppy disk costumes for SD cards, which you can find on Adafruit and also on Charlene's website if you want to print your own. Find all the links for these in the description below. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Friday. Have an awesome weekend, and as always, hack on. I'll give you a little wave.